Welcome to a tasting of this week's new coffee release, which is Mutovu, a washed red bourbon from Rwanda. If you're new here, my name is James. I run a specialty coffee roastery called Blending Room based in Hull, East Yorkshire. Now to the coffee. Rwandan coffees can be quite difficult to roast. They are susceptible to an event at around first crack that we call crashing. What does that mean? That is where the beans have built up a lot of pressure inside with water that is retained within inside of the green bean cell structure. And at first crack, that water begins to reach boiling point and is released into the roasting environment. And that then shows inside of your roast data with a very keen drop away in temperature as that water vapor cools the beans and cools the probes. This scenario is something that we as professional roasters try to mitigate and avoid, because that can have some degree of cessation to good flavor development throughout the roast. However, what I've noticed on our new roasting machine, the Lauring, these events are less indicative to, but not entirely eradicating from, poor quality flavor development. So, what you may note on the roast profile that I'm going to show you now is that there is an event around this point, but the manifestation in the cup is less profound and less pronounced than I thought it would be, which, alongside the other data that I have, is beginning to allude to some of the things that the Lauring, a predominantly air roaster, is allowing me to do within the roast. Also this week, I did roast this coffee in a 15 kilo full batch size as well. So not only is this a new release, it is a coffee that I've tried a new roasting sort of protocol as well. So I wonder how it tastes. Let's have a quick taste and see exactly what we can find. Right, so this is incredibly typical of washed coffees from this region of the world. There is an underlying brown sugar, and you tend to find that from coffees from Burundi, Uganda, and Rwanda that share very similar geographies, that there is this sort of brown sugar thing that goes on. It's not entirely prominent, but it's definitely there. The beauty with this coffee is it seems to be interlaced with wonderfully bright, effervescent acidity that manifests as lemons, and there's a rhubarb, so just imagine that sharpness that you get from rhubarb that really adds wonderful structure to this coffee. It will be fantastic brewed as a filter coffee, which is exactly what I've got here. That filter coffee will allow a certain degree of dilution that will, one, help to rein in, for a better word, the very prominent acidity, but also the dilution will allow your palate to just perceive more of those intricate Northeast African flavors that are just so wonderful from this region. So I probably would not approach this as an espresso-based brew. The reason being is not that it wouldn't work as espresso, it's more to do with personal preference. I'm a man who started working in coffee in 1999, so that's going back a long time now. And my desired espresso recipe and my dream for perfect espresso is all about texture, and you get texture in concentration. And at concentration, you get a very bright level of acidity, should the acidity be there. So for me, with my old school espresso hat on, this coffee would be a little bit of a struggle as an out-and-out espresso. However, if you're one of those nouveau kids that like to do a 1 to 3, a 1 to 3.5, a 1 to 4 espresso, I don't consider them as espressos, but hey, who cares? If you like that, yeah, this would work, no problem at all. You just won't get that texture that I love. Anyway, that aside, this was a very interesting coffee to roast. I've done 2 batches to release to our coffee subscribers, and you can subscribe through our web platform at blendingroom.co.uk. It will be available for those on Beverley Market this Saturday if you're watching it then. And through the roastery door as well. You're very welcome. 9 to 5, Monday to Friday. We can serve you, we can talk you through coffee and all those sorts of things. Anyway, I think that was about it for today. I'd like to try and keep these short and sweet. I do other videos that are a bit more technically inclined, and those are a touch longer. So I'll keep these nice and short. Anyhow, enjoy the coffee, enjoy the wonderful British summer that we're having at this point in time, and do come and buy a bag of coffee. Until next time, cheers.